friends, today we will be focusing on our knife skills, practicing on an apple. Mastering your knife skills is a super important part of cooking to make sure that you have evenly cut fruits and vegetables as well as all of your fingers. So making sure that you keep your fingers out of the way while you're cooking is priority number one. It's important to make sure you have a grown-up around when you are using sharp knives. Use a knife that feels comfortable for you. So starting off with a smaller knife may be a good option since they're a little lighter. Now here I have 4 knives that are commonly found in most kitchens. This first knife is called a dinner knife, and it's good for spreading and cutting soft things like bananas, so it's a great place to start. This next one is called a paring knife. It's good for precise cutting, for cutting soft fruits and vegetables like peppers or strawberries, and herbs like cilantro and basil. All the knives have a sharp side and a dull side. This next knife has the serrated sharp side, like a saw. This one's called a bread knife. You use this knife to go back and forth to carve your food just like you would with a saw. This knife is good for food that is hard on the outside but has a soft inside, like bread, tomatoes, or melons. Our last and biggest knife is the chef's knife. This knife is good for hard vegetables, meats, herbs, and nuts. There's also the option of getting plastic or nylon knives that are extra kid safe. These are the knives I use in my cooking class, but I will link a few different options below. The prices range from $4 per knife to $20 per knife. So for those of you who have had cooking lessons with me, you know how important your bear claws are. So I'd love to see y'all put up a little bear claw right now. So put up your open hand, curl your fingers around, and then what we're gonna do is put your curled fingers on top of your food. Why might this be important? Yeah, so our fingers stay out of the way while we're cutting. You'll be able to see me using my bear claw in our food demonstration next. But keeping your bear claw on top of whatever you're cutting is step number 1 to making sure that you're making safe choices while you're cutting up your food. So today we are going to be cutting an apple. Take that sticker off, that wouldn't taste too good. And I'm going to use 2 different types of knives to show you how they each work. This is our kitchen dinner knife. This will work pretty well, but you can see that the edges are a little frayed. It's not too clean of a cut, and I had to use a lot of pressure. Now we're using our paring knife, and look at that clean cut. So now I'm going to use my bear claw to cut small slices of apples. It might be hard to get even slices at first, but no matter what knife you use, practice makes perfect. So the more you do it, the better you'll get. Now I'm going to show you a new special type of cutting. This is called the tunnel cut. So I make a little U with my hands and put it on top of my food. And then I put the knife through the tunnel. And I cut down, making sure that my fingers still are out of the way. Oop, look at that. See how I have that firm grasp on the knife? Cutting down. Doing that tunnel cut again. Train coming in, choo choo. Cutting down, making sure my fingers are out of the way. We got our apple. Even when you're done cutting your food, it's super important to make sure you're being careful with what you do with your knife. And that means where you place your knife when you're done cutting. So there are 3 important things to remember. You make sure the knife is fully on the cutting board, that it's not hanging off the side, that the pointy part, the tip, is facing away from you, and that the blade is flat on the cutting board. So now that you smart people out there know the right way to put a knife on the cutting board, let's put your knowledge to the test. I'm going to show you some pictures of different ways you can leave a knife on the cutting board, and I want you to tell me if it's the right way or the wrong way. Let's go.
This is the wrong way. We need to have the tip facing away from us. This is the wrong way. The knife needs to be totally on the cutting board. Ding, ding, ding! Look at that knife. That looks good. Well, geez, that knife isn't even on the cutting board at all. We need the blade lying flat on the cutting board, not facing up. Winner, winner! Now that you know what it looks like to safely put your knife on the cutting board, you deserve a treat. Let's review. Ask an adult before using a knife. Always use your bear claw. Place your knife on the cutting board safely, and practice makes perfect.
Apples are one of my favorite snacks, and together we learned how to cut them up safely and responsibly so you can have a healthy snack whenever you want. Thanks for watching. See you next time.